All right, great. So today we are on week 2 of Ultimate Techniques of Top Producers. And today we're talking about advanced lead generation strategies. So Ultimate Launch, you learned how to set up your CRM and your sphere of influence. And we talked about how you should be adding to your sphere of influence every time you meet somebody from this day forward. But now we're going to talk about in Ultimate Launch how you can actually generate leads. So instead of the people that you know, the people that know you, and the people who should know you're in real estate, and the new people you just meet by accident every day, we need to know, okay, if you really want to supercharge this and you want to act like a top producer or act like a team lead, how do we generate those people to come into us instead of us having to just wait on fate for us to bump into them? So we're going to talk about a little bit about that today. All right, on page 2 here, you see the beautiful Jamie Peltonen, who I'm not sure if is on the call today or not. She has been a very busy mentor, so she has a very booked schedule in addition to being a superstar agent. And she is one of the top producers that we're talking about. Jamie, I was just talking about you and you just joined. And I just was singing your praises. You can ask anybody here. I wasn't talking nasty about you, I promise.
It's all lies.
So I was just saying how we have you as our page 2 model for week 2 of Ultimate Techniques of Top Producers, just because you are just out there killing it. And lead generation is one of the places where you shine. So anytime you talk to an agent that is really producing a lot of organic business on their own, they will contribute. And I'm sure Jamie can back me on this since I was just picking on her. I'm sure they can contest that lead generation every day, 365 days a year is so important. It's the lifeblood of their business, right, James?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's about who you know and who knows you. And unless you're going to every networking event, every party, walking up and down the street all day, which doesn't make us a whole lot of money, it's really hard to know everybody. So you really have to look at your lead generation efforts, leveraging data and building a strong referral network to be able to know everybody possible. Over my time as a real estate agent, I can tell you that if you look into my CRM, I have about 32,000 contacts, and it grows every month. 32,000 contacts. So remember, in Ultimate Launch, we had you start out with 50 people. 50, right? 50 is super small in comparison to 32,000 individual contacts of people who I have met over the course of my career. And that continues to build each and every day. So as we are sending leads out to you guys, those people, guess what? Go into my CRM so I can tell them how amazing you guys are, how amazing the company is, and how we're here to support them when their real estate needs come up, whether it's tomorrow or whether it's 10 years from now. So the people that I put in to my CRM, my little 50 people on my sphere of influence that I put in day one as a real estate agent, they are still getting newsletters and drip campaigns from me. I'm still following up with them and sending them birthday emails. It hasn't quit, and it's been going strong for 17 years. And I promise you, these people will never forget that I'm in real estate because it's literally all I talk about. All right. So when I started in real estate all those years ago, one of the things that I noticed is I sat in the cubicle farm over there at the green and yellow company. And across the way was my mentor, and her name was Mary Lou. And she was the most, and still is today, even though she's long retired, the most amazing agent and mentor a young girl could ever ask for. She really took me under her wing, treated me like a daughter, and really kept my nose clean and out of trouble more times than I could ask for. But she had a magnet on the side of her filing cabinet, and on it says, a busy agent is never listless. A busy agent is never listless. And that stuck with me all of these years because every time I went to her desk, and trust me, it was hundreds of times, I would see that magnet. And it is so true. If you are a busy agent, you never go without a listing. If you don't have a listing right now, then your only job is to get a listing, because a busy agent is never listless. So generating leads time, generating leads requires a lot of time and a lot of energy. The amount of time top producing real estate agents should spend on lead generation can vary depending on their specific market, their experience, and their business goals. However, we commonly recommend as a guideline to spend 10 to 20 hours per week on lead generating activities. 10 to 20 hours a week. And I can tell you that there are many agents in this business, and I could say 10 to 20 hours, and they're like, I don't want to work 10 to 20 hours. If you don't work, if you don't come to work, you don't make money. So real estate is no different than any other job. You got to treat it like a career. You got to treat it like it is important to you, and you got to show up for work. So dedicate those 10 to 20 hours per week into lead generating activities. Let's talk about multi-channel lead generation. Okay, there's not one magic pill. There's not one secret sauce. You have to cast a wide net to be able to get the leads that you really need to be able to grow your business at hyper speed. So some of the things I did over the years and continue to do is online marketing methods, social media marketing. So I utilize platforms like Facebook. We do that with a lot of you guys. And if you're on the Brand Boost program, we're doing that for you now. We're doing that for the brokerage now. So social media marketing is great for branding and brand recognition so that people don't forget you're in real estate. It lets them know what you're doing, that you're excited, that you're successful, and that's so important. Email campaigns. You need to develop personalized email campaigns to nurture your market share and give you insights, promote listings, tell people what you're up to. If you're not doing email campaigns, when we get off this call, please jump onto your OneSuite, get your contacts in there and set them up with a drip campaign. At very least, set them up with the ROGU General Drip. It is made for you. If you want to take it a step further, start designing your own and put your own photo and contact information on there. The great thing is even if you're using our general emails, when they reply to that email, they're replying to you, not me. So just so that you know that if they reply back and say, oh, you know what, I did see a house I want to see, it's coming to your email. It's not coming to my email. So either way, you can't go wrong. Get those email campaigns out. Content marketing. So blog posts, videos, webinars that address common real estate questions and provide value to your audience. I'm going to pick on Jamie again because she does a spill the tea video vlog for social media. And it's been getting a lot of attention. It's super cute. They're short. They're easy to watch in a short period of time. She doesn't make them 15, 20 minutes long. They're, 5, sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more. It gives generalized information. And then she always tells the audience to call her with any additional questions, have a one-on-one meeting. I love that. Good job. SEO and PPC, so optimize your website for search engines and use pay-per-click advertising to drive traffic and generate leads. This is one of the most common things that people are like, I don't know what SEO and PPC is. Okay, super easy. Remember when all of you onboarded, and I do this with everybody, I told you to go out there and write your About Me page and then send it to me. And then I'm going to take it, I'm going to rip it apart, I'm going to reorganize it, I'm going to put it in third person, and then I'm going to add words that are highly searchable on search engines like Google and Yahoo and Safari and wherever other people are searching. That is SEO. So we optimize it for search engines. And we want that About Me to really shine on your agent web space so that when somebody is searching those keywords, you are coming up in those search results. Now, PPC is something that we use here at the brokerage. We use Google AdWords. So we are able to go onto Google. We're able to design a search engine, a search engine search, I don't know how to call it, but and we basically say, these are our trigger words. These are our keywords that you want us to use. So if somebody types in best real estate agent in Newcastle or best real estate agent in agency in Grove City, that ours will pop up being first position place. So that's called a pay-per-click advertising. And we do that with Google. All of you can do that with Google as well as individual agents. And I tell you what, if you want your phone to start ringing, it is a great thing to do. Your phone will ring. Did you ever ask yourself, if you're on the lead program, how do we get so many call-ins, walk-ins, and then general website leads when that is not usual for a real estate brokerage? We get a lot of call-ins. We get a lot of website inquiries. We get a lot of walk-ins. And that's because Google is driving the phone traffic to our office. So then we can give those clients to all of you. So that's what we do here. Third-party generation. So advertise on third-party sites like Zillow, Realtor, Homes.com to leverage their high traffic for lead generation While this can be the most costly method, the return can be well worth the investment. And you guys all know that because we do participate with Zillow, Realtor, Homes.com, and quite a few others. All right, some offline methods is networking events. So attend local community events, real estate professional conferences, networking meetings. A good example of that is last night down in New Brighton. I think it's like the second Tuesday of every month, they have something called Night Mart. Night Mart is where all the vendors set up tables and there's food trucks and the entire community just comes down and walks the streets. This is something that you can do whether you're in the New Brighton office or whether you are just in a different office and you want to do it in your community. It doesn't matter where you are. Here at Elwood City, we have what's called Wander Wednesday. Hermitage has a Night Mart as well. I don't know what day that is. I'm sure that Grove City has something similar. And you Grove City agents, if they don't have something similar, why doesn't one of our Grove City agents put that together and sponsor it as an event once a month? That'd be a great idea, right? But these are the kind of events where you can set up and start going out there, shaking hands, introducing yourself to community members, do some type of giveaway, or maybe do something for a charity. Right now, we're doing a book drive. This would be a great opportunity. Set up a table and ask everybody to bring and drop off their books for the Children's Hospital book drive. All right, direct mail campaigns. Everybody knows about these, sending out postcards, flyers, and newsletters to targeted neighborhoods. If you want to send out postcards, you can do that on the One Print Center. They're very inexpensive for a standard postcard for a just listed, just sold, or what's your home worth. If you're going to send out 25, it costs you about $26 or $27, postage included. So it's not too bad. You don't even have to have the mailing list. You just put in the mailing address, like the target address, and it'll build a mailing list for you at no additional cost. Open houses. One of the best ways to showcase your expertise in a neighborhood is open houses. Now, I know you either love them or hate them. Some people love open houses. Some people hate open houses. I can guarantee you that the ones that love open houses are the ones that are doing open houses properly. And the ones that hate them are the ones who are doing lazy open houses. Everything that you do before the open house and after the open house is more important than the actual open house itself. You've heard me say that 1,000 times. We're going to go over that more on Friday with the art of the open house, so make sure you tune in for that. Community involvement. Engage in local community activities, sponsors events, participate in charity work. Okay, so that's what we're doing now with the book drive. So you guys get on camera, make your posts. Right now, if you guys don't know, for every closing that we have in May, June, and July, we are dedicating a book to the Children's Hospital Library in honor of your client. So there'll be a little stamp on the inside of the book that says, donated by Realty One Group in honor of, and we will have your client's name in there so that their name will appear in the Children's Hospital Library as a thank you. But you guys can all do a very similar thing if you want to do that on an individual level. Maybe get on video and say, and we're buying the books, but you guys can take the credit. Get on a video and say, hey, I just want to let you know that I'm doing a charity event for the Children's Hospital UPMC Pittsburgh. And for every client who buys or sells a home with me this summer, I'm going to be donating a book to the Children's Hospital Library in their honor. So get on camera and do it. Tell people about it. It's a great way to get leads through community involvement. All right. So questions so far, because I also need to take a breath because I talk too much. Anybody? All right. Moving on. At your fingertips, leads are literally everywhere that you look, and top producing agents may just be a little better at spotting them. So I can tell you that top producing agents and team leads never miss an opportunity to find expired leads. They're literally right at your fingertips in your MLS. All you have to do is search the contact. You just go into your search, put expired in the last 2 weeks or whatever your search criteria is, put in your school district, put in your county, and the expired leads come up. They are a great source of leads because you know that these people have already committed to selling their home. It's just for whatever reason that didn't happen. So a lot of times they will welcome a call by you just to have a chat on, hey, are you still interested in selling your home? Maybe I can give you a fresh perspective. Maybe I can help you through a troubled time, or maybe I can give you the answers that you're seeking. So offer your help. For sale by owners, often found on Zillow, Facebook, Craigslist, and just spotting the random yard sign, FSBOs can be a super profitable source for seller leads and referrals. We do have a program, which we're going to go over our listing presentation, our new one at the Monday meeting in Hermitage. So come to the next meeting. We're going to have lunch there too, but we're going to go over the listing presentation. We have a little section in there to help you get over the hurdles with for sale by owners and get yourself in the door. So you definitely don't want to miss that. Absent owners. I used to love doing this. I would drive through a neighborhood and try to figure out whose grass was the tallest and then find out who owned that house. Because chances are, if the grass is high, this is somebody who has recently moved or somebody who has abandoned the property. Maybe they're behind on their payments and I could offer short sale solutions to them. Maybe they were absentee owners from another state and they didn't know that their property was abandoned because there was tenants in there. They don't know that the grass is high. This is an excellent opportunity for you to reach out just to say, hey, I just happened to be driving past your home because I do a lot of business. I have a lot of clients in the neighborhood and I saw that your grass is really high. I wasn't sure if you were aware or not, and I just wanted to reach out to see if I can help you in any way, maybe refer to you a local landscaping business, and then you can strike up the conversation. Let's also talk about distressed sellers. Pre-foreclosures and past due property taxes can be a surefire sign that a client needs your help. A lot of times you can find pre-foreclosures. Sometimes they're listed on Zillow when somebody is past due. Again, this goes back to absent owners. A lot of times they just dip out of the house because they don't know they have any other options. And you can also check the Tax Claim Bureau. So when people are behind on their taxes, it's posted publicly for people to see. So this is an opportunity for you to reach out to those people because if they're not paying their taxes, it tells you they're in financial distress, and you may be able to reach out to them and help give them the information on maybe the homestead tax relief program to lower their taxes, maybe get a continuance of their tax sale while you help them sell their property so that they could pay off the tax balance and save their home. All right, now we're going to talk about next level lead generation. And to take your lead generation to the next level, it's not just enough to go out there and gather all the leads. You need to be able to leverage the data. So leveraging the data starts by using the tools and the systems that you have right at your disposal right now. And that is going to be the MLS, your OneSuite, and Listrak. Okay, those are the three that I use the most. So identify data analytics to identify market trends and consumer behavior in your area. So as you're putting these leads in the system, as you're warming these clients, you need to be able to see what they're doing. OneSuite is a great way to be able to see that. In OneSuite, you can see who is looking at your emails, who is clicking the links in your emails, what they're looking at, how often they're looking at it, and what is valuable or important to them, so that when you call them, you actually have something that is of real value to speak to them about. This also helps you predict the analytics that are going to come next and helps you adjust your tools and behaviors to really resonate with your audience. But understanding how to grab that data and to use it and understand that it's important is so important for your business. So, ways you can enhance your online presence to generate leads and to further give a great unique value proposition to the leads and to the customers you have is by enhancing your online presence. One thing I love about lead generation is that there are so many tools out there that you can kind of set it and forget it. Right? So we set it and we forget it. I do this a lot. I go through and I have a calendar thing on my calendar. I have a trigger every month that tells me to go into my systems, check my data analytics. I want to see who's interacting with everybody. I want to refresh and update my my search optimization for my website and for my newsletters. I want to check my content that's going out. Again, those are going to be my email newsletters, my blog that's on our website. And then I also want to check our lead magnets that we do on both Facebook and pay-per-click Google. So with this, you definitely want to make sure that you're looking at all of these categories. So you want to update your keywords and your About Me on your web page. I would say not every month, but every couple months throw that back into ChatGPT and tell it exactly what to do. You want to make sure that you are getting the keywords that are relevant for today based on a real estate agent in this market that's good at these things, that wants to attract these clients, and it's going to pump that about me out, and it's going to change the most frequently used keywords for that time. It's not enough to do it once and then never look at it again. You have to continuously update it because keywords within the internet do change based on what's happening in the market. So every couple months, make sure you're doing that. Invest in robust content marketing and regularly publish blog posts, video, and social media content that provides value. Again, that's not enough to do it once and then 3 years from now, you still haven't done it again because a lot changes in 3 years. You want to make sure that you're refreshing your content regularly. And then using lead magnets like ebooks, checklists, market reports that visitors can download in exchange for content information is really, really valuable. I don't know how many times you've looked something up online and you're like, oh, I want to know how much this is going to cost me. And then you go onto the website and it says, click for a free quote. And then it has you pick out all of the things that you want. And then you click next to see the price. And it has a contact form where you have to give your name, your address, your phone number, your email. And then you don't get to see the price until you put that information in. So that's a lead magnet. And those can be super valuable online. You can actually do that with your agent website. So in the back end of your agent website, you can tell your website how many times a client can look at listings before they have to register, or how many market reports that a client can download on their property before they have to register. So you can set that up. There is an open portal, which all of you are set up on your website so that it's just open. So anybody can see anything on your website at any time, or you can change it to what's called soft. And that's what our brokerage website has. So on soft, their first search, it doesn't even prompt them to sign in, but their second search, it prompts them and they can click no thanks and they can view that listing. However, when they go to search the third property, it requires a sign in. So they can check 2 properties, they can pull up 2 properties, but on the third one, on the third page that they're going to, they are required to sign in. And we do get people to sign up. I can tell you that if they are interested in going further, they sign up and we capture their data and then we pass that data down to you. All right, Maxim. Oh, go ahead.
Where is that? Is it easy to find when we do our website editor?
It is. So you're going to go into OneSuite. You're going to click on the left-hand side, go down to My Website Editor. When you pull your website up, there are 3 little buttons in the top right-hand corner. And you click those and it gives you a drop-down menu. And then it says, I think it says settings. Go into the settings and that's where you'll find that.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we've changed ours and we've started getting leads from it.
Also, that domain I created, FYI, I actually figured out how to transfer it over to GoDaddy. So you could transfer that domain back over. So I did that. So I'm just waiting for it to transfer back to GoDaddy. So it's a little easier.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Then we'll be able to get it pointed in the right direction.
Yeah.
And what she's talking about, for those who don't know, is Rebecca got herself a custom URL. So instead of going to realty1.com/Rebecca-Scarnati, that big long URL that you all have, she got, and I can't remember what the website address is, but it's like www.rebeccascarnati.com. And we are able to go into the back end of her website and point that towards it. So regardless of whether you put in the long URL or whether you put in rebeccascarnati.com, it's going to point directly to our website and take our people there. So it makes it a lot easier when you're handing somebody your card and saying, oh, well, here's my card. Feel free to go on my website at rebeccascarnati.com and check out our listings. That's super easy to remember as opposed to that big URL that we all get. So if anybody's interested in doing that, I'd be happy to walk you through it. All right, maximize your social media advertising. Use targeted ads. So has anybody here used Facebook targeted ads before? No? We use them all the time. So targeted ads is basically going into the back end of Facebook and saying, okay, I want to boost this ad. They call it boosting. So I want to boost this ad in Facebook for this period of time at this demographic in this area for this purpose. I either want them to go to my website, or I want them to call me, or I want them to text me, I want them to send me a Facebook Messenger, whatever the case. There's a big long list of things you can do. Those are targeted ads, and you can target those to reach certain demographics. There is one thing on here that I keep forgetting to put in, is that because we are real estate, there are two things that you have to do when it comes to targeted ads. Is one, you cannot limit who is viewing. You can't limit the audience by age, because age is a protected class. So it's going to automatically default to people between 18 and 100. You have to keep it that way. And then on Facebook and Instagram, there's also a toggle switch that says that this is a special classification for housing, employment, those types of things. You do have to toggle that, because that also requires additional review on the back end of Facebook. So make sure you're toggling that, or they're going to reject your ad. But I can tell you that we, when we post our ads, and I think you've seen them, like the One Reason Why We Choose One, we boost those ads, and we don't spend a ton. I mean, maybe we spend $75 an ad over the period of a week, but we get thousands of people who view that ad, and hundreds of people that go to the website to check out our website. Now, obviously, not all of them register and sign up, but there's a huge correlation between us pushing out ads that are boosted and the leads that we're getting off of our website for whatever reason. And they may be all kinds of different leads. Sometimes they're just a question. Sometimes they're agents looking to learn more about the brokerage. Sometimes they're buyers or sellers, but there's a huge correlation when we boost things on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, Jim.
Yeah, I was going to say, all right, like dropped off the call because I fumbled my phone, but I've done Facebook ads and generated business from it, and the same with Instagram. And just recently, I only spent, I think it was $35 on a reel that I boosted, and I got 3,200 views, 64 interactions, meaning people were clicking on like my profile or whatever links,
or liking, sharing.
Yeah, so like you could still like generate, and like, so I was very targeted, but you can generate a lot of interest, or even business, because that's what I'm working towards, of course, just rather cheaply.
Absolutely. I mean, some people hate social media ads, but I tell you what, I love them. I think they're a great way for your marketing and branding. And branding is half the battle. This I can tell you. I mean, you don't always need to have somebody's name, address, telephone number, and email to be successful in leads. Brand recognition is half the battle, because if they are constantly seeing you, then they are, 10 times as likely to call you. And we've all gotten calls out of the blue, and you wonder, like, how do these people get to me? Like, I don't know these people, how these people get to you. It's because of your marketing and branding, the brand recognition that you're getting from it. So I think it's so important. Another way you can do is retargeting too. So implementing retargeting ads to reach users that have previously visited your website or engaged with your content. You can do that through Google. So Google actually knows everything. Your phone is listening to you right now. That data is being sold to Google. How do I know that? Because there's a lawsuit right now with iPhone. So your phone is listening to you all the time. So if you want to retarget, you can actually call your Google rep, let them know that you're interested in retargeting ads. And that way, when somebody logs online, they're seeing your advertisement because they've already been to your website. So you keep coming back and coming back and coming back, and you're constantly in their face. Video marketing on social media to showcase your properties, share market insights, and provide virtual tours. This is highly engaging, and it has the most bang for your buck, because even if you are not boosting it, the amount of shares, likes, responses that you get off of your video marketing is exponentially higher than just a photo, and especially just word format. So if you want the most bang for your buck, please start using video marketing. All right, so let's talk about a little bit about utilizing advanced CRM tools, and understand this is a lot of tasks. Okay, I know that to this point, This is a lot of tasks. It's a lot to remember. You have these handouts in your email. I sent them all out last week for lessons 1 through 5. And I can tell you that top producers, they don't pick 1 or 2 that they're doing all of them. So if you want to be a mega producer that's selling 100, 150, 200 houses a year, these people are doing all of these things. They're spreading it around. Remember, we're casting that wide net and we're taking these tasks on. But again, a lot of these are set it and forget it type of things. You can set your Facebook advertisements up months in advance so that you're taking an afternoon to really build your marketing out for social media, and it's done for months, and then you're reaping the benefits for the months to come. So don't let this overwhelm you, but take it in chunks and say, okay, Monday from 1 until 3, I'm going to set up my social media marketing for next quarter. And then Wednesday from 1 to 3, I'm going to set up all of my brand new drip campaigns that I'm going to use for the next quarter. And even though you get into these accounts and you look at the marketing and you tweak things throughout the quarter, you're not doing this massive setup. So use the systems that are in place. Don't let it overwhelm you. Set it, and I hate to say forget it, because you're never going to forget it. You have to go in and make sure it's still running and working the way it's supposed to. But for the most part, once you invest the time and those hours every quarter, you can set these up so they're running in the background while you're servicing the clients and the leads that come from these activities. So when you talk about your CRM is one of your most powerful, underrated tools available in your Realty One suite. So you can set automatic follow-ups in your CRM. You can schedule emails, texts, calls, and nurture relationships over time. Wouldn't it be great if all of us had an assistant sitting at the office that would send us a text message that says, Rebecca, don't forget to call Lonnie at 1 o'clock today, because last week when you talked to him about selling his home, he asked you to call because the carpet was supposed to be installed at 10 a.m. this morning. Wouldn't that be great? And Rebecca would go, oh, here's Lonnie's name, and it's thank you for reminding me, and thank you for sending his contact information. Wouldn't it be great if we had an assistant that just did that all day, every day? Well, guess what? You do your CRM system. If Rebecca met with Lonnie and Lonnie was putting carpet in the house, it was supposed to be done at 10 a.m. this morning. And he says, you know what? We're going to have that. Home Depot's coming. They're putting the carpet in at 10 a.m. They should be done by noon. Why don't you give me a call about 1 o'clock? I'll confirm that it's done, and then we'll schedule the appointment to get the house on the market for maybe Friday. And then Rebecca gets busy because Rebecca is a very popular agent. I don't know if you guys know this or not. And she is a busy girl. So she's out dealing with the, 6 other sellers that have called her since she originally met with Lonnie. And it's so easy to forget to call him, even though she promised she would. Even though it's in her calendar, it's super easy to forget. But then all of a sudden, Rebecca's driving to her next appointment. Her phone dings and says, call Lonnie. Okay. You can set it up in your CRM so that it tells you, okay, I'm putting this calendar in here. I'm going to call Lonnie at 1 o'clock today on this date, and send me a reminder via text, and it will do it for you. So it's like having a virtual assistant. You set it up. You know you're supposed to call me. You have to do anything for Lonnie until that day. Remind me on that day to call Lonnie, but I don't need to worry about Lonnie until then. Okay. So that's something that you can do. You can send personalized emails to Lonnie for today that says, hey, I know you're getting your carpet installed today. I'm going to be running around town. If you need me, please give me a call. If not, I'll give you a buzz around 1 o'clock. And you can have that automatically sent in an email to go out at a specific time, which would be this morning. And you could have set that up 2 weeks ago to send that to Lonnie, so you don't have to remember to do it. All right, segmentation. Segment your database into different categories based on your lead type. We've talked about this in our One Suite training. Putting people into specific groups that are easy for you to remember. The very simple of those are buyers and sellers, but I like to take that a step forward. So maybe sellers in this market, in this price range, or sellers that are looking to sell in 2025, or sellers that's looking to sell in 2026, or whatever the case may be. Break those down into smaller, more digestible groups so that when you do things on the back end, you automate it, they can be very specific to that client without causing you any additional headache or heartache. If they're in categories, they're easily searchable, and you can filter those very easy to see what your database of clients looks like. Also, lead scoring, and you may have seen this in your CRM, whether you've used OneSuite or other CRMs in the past, is lead scoring. Sometimes it'll have a 1 through 10, sometimes it'll have 5 stars beside it, and you'll have to rate that client. Use lead scoring to help you understand how much you need to engage with that client in the moment. So if this is a client who wants to sell in 0 to 3 months, they may need a 5-star. If this is a client that's looking to sell next year, they may need a 1 or a 2-star to tell you who is most important. That way, when you pull up your contacts, you can actually sort them from highest star to lowest star and start your calls and follow-up efforts based on those who need you the most. All right, invest in lead generation services. For those of you who are on the 70% lead generation program, you're already doing that. So congratulations. For those of you who are not, you may want to invest in some online lead providers. So those providers would be Zillow Premier Agent, Realtor.com, or maybe even Bold Leads. There's a ton of them. Pick the program that is best for you. They can definitely provide you pre-vetted leads so that you can call these people and start turning these leads into clients. You can also look into pay-per-click advertising, like we were talking about in the previous slide, with places like Google. I always use Google as an example. You know that I am a Google platform fan. My husband is a Microsoft fan. That's the platform he lives and breathes in. I live and breathe in Google just because we do so many things with them in the real estate industry. Pay-per-click advertising, I can tell you, is very expensive, but it does work. At least it works for me. And I'm sure other people have a different opinion, but it does work for what we're providing. And we provide very specific keywords to drive traffic to our website, and it does its job. All right, and I'm going to try to wrap this up as quickly as possible. I'm not going to read all of these to you because you do have the workbooks, and this week can be a little lengthy because leads are very, very complicated, and of course we'll have other trainings on those. But one thing I think is super important is to track every interaction. We talked about this in Ultimate Launch as well, that it is important to build out your database and really track every interaction with every person that you meet. I am the person who every time I meet somebody and I get their name and telephone number, they go into my database. I don't care who they are. They could be my friend's aunt. My friend's aunt, she's in the database. If I meet a lender on the street, guess what? My lender's in the database because I want that person to refer business to me. If I talk to a buyer on the phone, they're in my database. I track every interaction that I have with them, every phone call, every email, every birthday, every time they buy a house, it gets tracked in my database. And why do I do that? Why do I do that? Because it helps me build a really meaningful relationship with that person. And when you have 32,000 people in your database, it is impossible to keep track. It is impossible to keep track. So now when people call me and say, hey, Christina, you sold me a house 5 years ago. I'd like to go ahead and sell that home. I can pretend for a couple minutes that I remember who they are. Meanwhile, I'm clicking on my CRM, pulling up their name and like, oh, yeah, Chris. Yeah. How are you? How is that home in Elport? Oh, you did so much work to it. I drove past it a few weeks ago. It just looks amazing. But you know what? I wouldn't have remembered that otherwise because there's so many people that we interact with in a day and we're expected to remember them all, which is just not realistic. So the best thing you can do for yourself is track every interaction. Write notes about your clients. That way you can provide personalized follow-up to them to make them feel like they've really left a lasting impact on your life. People like to think that you remember them and remember the key important things about them because it makes them feel important. It makes them feel valued. So make sure you're writing those notes down. Utilize your CRM for affecting tracking. Put that information in your CRM. I promise you, I'm not getting into any of your CRMs. I'm not looking at your data. It's not going anywhere. Your data is your data. When you put it in, it doesn't mean you can't get it out. You can export your data at any time. So put it in your CRM and make sure that you're using it effectively. Okay, segment your database. We talked about that. Making them easily searchable. Leverage the data. So finding out the data and knowing what your content needs are, personalizing that to your clients, and track and improve your marketing. Okay, so measure your success, change things that aren't working, improve upon things that are. All right, so I finished up just shy of 45 minutes because I was promised not to keep you any more than 45 minutes. So, all right, open for questions on lead generation. Who's got a question?
I know I get these text messages like every day, maybe multiple text messages every day from like potential lead gen things. I just delete them because I just simply don't trust them. I imagine I'm not the only person who gets these. But I mean, what are your thoughts on those? Do you have?
So they do. They go out to everybody. And they're probably using our MLS data to send those out because I get a lot of them too. I'm always leery with fly-by-night companies. I always want to look for somebody who is properly vetted, who's been around for a long time, because you do have to give them confidential information of yours to be able to get these leads and referral. So when people ask me about that, I always tell them, like, do a Google search, find this business, check their Better Business ratings, check their website ratings, see how long they've been in business. Because especially if they're asking you to pay for leads, you don't know if these are garbage leads or if they're actually vetted leads or not. So just be careful and do your research before signing up with anybody.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
So anybody else? Is anybody doing any type of lead generation that was not mentioned in today's meeting? Any lead generation ideas that we can pass down to the group? No, you guys are quiet today. Okay, well, I promise not to keep you more than 45 minutes. I knew this was a long week, but please join me next week for week 3, client communication. And you can see our lovely Cheyenne is the star of that cover. So we will be here same time, same place online for client communication for Ultimate Techniques of Top Producers. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And of course, like always, I will stay on the call until everybody has left in case anybody has any questions they didn't want to ask the group. But if I don't hear from you guys, have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.